Here's something about me. I'm terrible at finishing things. This might seem strange because what you see on this channel that I've been somewhat regularly updating for over 8 years now are finished products. Videos that I put some degree of work into, be it scripting and editing or thinking really hard about a topic and then sounding off angrily and hitting upload. But for every single video on this channel, there are probably 20 that haven't made it here. I have half-written and completed video scripts that just aren't quite done yet or aren't exactly what I want to create that day. I have video footage from years ago for an idea that I had where I went on location to shoot and did so only to lose motivation when I saw the colossal task in front of me. Sometimes it's that I lose interest in a project or I get a new idea and I run off to chase the shiny new project that I have motivation for instead of trudging through the actual work of the one in front of me. But really, I'm a scaredy cat. I keep saying I want to be a professional writer, but I haven't finished writing a novel yet because I'm scared of pushing myself to my creative limits. I'm scared of looking at my work with a critical eye to assess it and edit it and put it in front of an audience. I'm writing this very video script at 2 a.m. because it's pretty much the only time I can get the anxious part of my brain to shut up in order to write something. I have so many unfinished projects that are languishing in various stages of doneness. Some are small things like learning how to play a song that I love on piano, but there are bigger ones too, like a short story I wrote that has been on my mind for 5 years now that I want to turn into a novel, but I'm scared of the work. I'm scared of looking at this project and seeing every single flaw in it and being utterly incapable of fixing it. Or that even when I do that, it will still be bad. And also, I'm scared of what happens once I finish. I'm scared of what's on the other side of finishing. How will people view this thing that I spent time and care on? No matter how many YouTube videos I make, I'm still scared of finishing the next one. No matter how many words I write, I'm still scared that the next one is going to be horrible and that it will be the single pulled thread that will unravel the whole thing. But here's another thing about me. I've been crafting a lot lately. You've seen some of the crafting on YouTube, and I've been live streaming 3 times a week consistently on Twitch for the last few months. I'm not the greatest crafter in the world, but it has been a lifeline for me the past few months. And I think slowly it's helping me get over that fear of finishing, because the creative process always involves mistakes. But when I do it in front of other people, I'm forced to simply fix the mistake and move on instead of staring at the mistake for a moment, feeling like a failure for making that mistake because god damn it, I'm better than that, and then putting that project away until I'm less embarrassed and less afraid of making another mistake. And I've rediscovered a love of finishing things. Yes, there are flaws in the finished product, but there is visible proof of how hard I worked on it. Because I'm doing it in front of other people, creating a performance in the act of creating itself, I get external support that I am doing the right thing by continuing and not throwing away the whole project. I'm not in my head anymore because my head is working too hard, focusing on the project and whether I'm dropping frames on the stream and keeping the conversation going in the chat. I'm able to finish things because my fear is on display, and I'm able to push past it because it's not the only thing in front of me. There are people who aren't as finicky about the symmetry of a flame on a matchstick or whether the stems on the completely made-up blob flowers are realistic enough. Once I'm outside of my own head, outside of my fear, I'm able to see that these perceived failures are not actually a big deal, and that finishing this project won't result in the torrent of hatred and harsh criticism I constantly fear. Which isn't to say that I can't see the mistakes. It bothers me so much that I didn't correctly center the design in my flame project and that I should have chosen colors with more contrast for the flowers. But they're done. The worst thing possible happened. I made the mistake. And now I get to take those mistakes and make sure I never make them again as I finish more things. And I'll finish that novel soon. Probably. Those things take a while to write.
Special thanks to PelonX8, Untapped Inkwell, and Eric Svensson for being my patrons. If you would like to support my video work, head on over to my Patreon and check out the perks.